Hello everyone, we are from Group 4. My name is M. Kemal Rashid.
And my name is Safira Yafik Harani. Today we're going to explain credit analysis of liquidity. Liquidity is ability to convert asset into cash or to obtain cash to meet short-term obligation. The short term is conventionally viewed as period up to 1 year, though it is identified with the normal operating cycle in a company. The importance of liquidity is best seen by considering repercussions stemming from a company's inability to meet short-term obligation. Accounting measurement assume indefinite existence of the company. Our analysis must always assess the validity of this assumption using liquidity and solvency measures. Meanwhile, working capital is a widely used measure of liquidity. Working capital is defined as the excess of current asset over current liabilities. It is important as a measure of liquidity asset that provide a safety cushion to creditors. It's also important in measuring the liquid reserve available to meet contingencies and the uncertainties surrounding a company's balance of cash inflow and the cash outflows. Next is current asset and liabilities. Current assets are cash and other assets reasonably expected to be first realized in cash, and the second is sold or consumed within 1 year or the normal operating cycle of the company. Current liabilities are obligations expected to be satisfied within a relatively short period of time, usually 1 year. Current liabilities typically include account payable, note payable, short-term bank loans, tax payable, accrued expense, and the current portion of long-term debt. Our analysis must assess whether all current obligations with a reasonably high probability of eventual payment are reported in current liabilities. The common concerns are first, contingent liability associated with loan guarantees. We need to assess the likelihood of this contingency materializing when we compute working capital. Second, future minimum rental payment under non-cancelable operating lease agreement. And the last is contract for construction acquisition of long-term asset, often called for substantial progress payment. These obligations for payment are reported in the footnote as commitment and not as liability in the balance sheet. Next is working capital measure of liquidity. Loan agreement and bond indentures often contain stipulation for maintenance of minimum working capital levels. Financial analysis assess the magnitude of working capital for investment decision and recommendation. Government agencies compute aggregate of companies' working capital for regulatory and policy action. The amount of working capital is more relevant to users' decision when related to other key financial variables like sales or total asset. It is of limited value for direct comparative purpose and for assessing the adequacy of working capital. In this illustration, you can see the following two companies have an equal amount of working capital. Yet a quick comparison of the relation of current asset to current liabilities indicate company A working capital position is superior to company B. Next is current ratio measure of liquidity. The previous illustration highlights the need to consider relative working capital. That is $200,000 working capital excess yield a different conclusion for a company with $300,000 in current asset than one with $1,200,000 in current asset. A common relative measure in practice is the current ratio. The current ratio is defined as current ratio equals current asset divided by current liabilities. The next is denominator of the current ratio. Current liability are the focus of the current ratio. They are a source of cash in the same way receivable and inventory use cash. Current liability are primarily determined by sales and company ability to meet them when due is the object of working capital measures. For example, since purchase giving rise to account payable are a function of sales, payable vary with sales. As long as sales remain constant or are rising, the payment of current liability is a refunding activity. In this case, the component of the current ratio provide little, if any, recognition to this activity or to its effect on future cash flow. Using the current ratio for analysis. From our discussion of the current ratio, we can draw at least three conclusions. First, liquidity depends to a large extent on prospective cash flow and to a lesser extent on the level of cash and cash equivalent. Second, no direct relation exists between balance of working capital account and likely pattern of future cash flow. And the last is managerial policies regarding receivable and inventories are direct. directed primarily at efficient and profitable asset utilization and secondarily at liquidity. Next is comparative analysis. Analyzing the trend in the current ratio is often enlightening. Change in the current ratio over time, however, must be interpreted with caution. Change in this ratio do not necessarily imply change in liquidity or operating performance. For example, during a recession, a company may continue to pay current liability while inventory and receivable accumulate, yielding an increase in the current ratio. Next is ratio management. Our analysis must look for management of the current ratio, also known as window dressing. Toward the close of a period, management will occasionally press the collection of receivable, reduce inventory below normal levels, and delay normal purchase. Proceeds from these activities are then used to pay off current liabilities. Net trade cycle analysis. Company working capital requirements are affected by its desired inventory, investment, and the relation between credit terms from suppliers and thus extend to customers. These considerations determine a company's net trade cycle. The next is cash-based ratio measures of liquidity. Cash and cash equivalent are the most liquid of current assets. In this section, we examine cash-based ratio measures of liquidity. Cash to current asset ratio. The ratio of near cash asset to the total of current asset is one measure of the degree of current asset liquidity. This measure, known as the cash to current asset ratio, is computed as cash plus cash equivalent plus marketable securities divided by current asset. The next is cash to current liabilities ratio. Another ratio measuring cash adequacy is the cash to current liabilities ratio. It is computed as cash plus cash equivalent plus marketable securities divided by current liabilities.
Now we will talk about operating activity analysis of liquidity. Account receivable liquidity measure. For most companies selling on credit, account and receivable are an important part of working capital. In assessing liquidity, including the quality of working capital and the current ratio, it is necessary to measure the quality and the liquidity of receivable. Both quality and liquidity of account receivable are affected by their turnover rate. Quality refers to the likelihood of collection without loss, and liquidity refers to the speed in converting account receivable to cash. The receivable turnover rate is a measure of this speed. First, account receivable turnover. The account receivable turnover ratio is computed as net sales on credit divided by average account receivable. Not receivable from normal sales should be included when computing account receivable turnover. It also includes only credit sales when computing this ratio because cash sales do not create receivable. Since financial statements rarely separately disclose cash and credit sales, our analysis often must compute this ratio using total net sales. If cash sales are not significant, then this ratio is less useful. Second, interpretation of receivable liquidity measure. Account receivable turnover rate and collection period are usually compared with industry average or with the credit terms given by the company. When the collection period is compared with the terms of sale allowed by the company, we can assess the extent of customer paying on time. For example, if usual credit terms of sale are 14 days, then an average collection period of 75 days reflect one or more of the following conditions. First, poor collection effort. Second, delays in customer payment. And third is customer in financial distress. Next is inventory turnover measure. Inventories often constitute a substantial proportion of current asset. The reason for this often have little to do with a company's need to maintain adequate liquid funds. Inventories are investments made for a purpose of obtaining a return through sales to customer. In most companies, a certain level of inventory must be kept. If inventory is inadequate, sales volume declines below an attainable level. First, inventory turnover. The inventory turnover ratio measures the average rate of speed at which inventory moves through and out of a company. Inventory turnover is computed as cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. Average inventory is computed by adding the beginning and ending inventory balance and dividing by 2. This averaging computation can be refined by averaging quarterly or monthly inventory figure. Second, interpreting inventory turnover. The current ratio views current asset component as source of funds to potentially pay off current liabilities. View similarly, inventory turnover ratio over measures of both the quality and liquidity of the inventory component of current asset. Quality of inventory refers to a company's ability to use and dispose of inventory. When inventory turnover decreases over time or is less than the industry norm, it suggests slow-moving inventory items attributed to obsolescence, weak demand, or non-sellability. This condition questions the feasibility of a company recovering inventory costs. Next is liquidity of current liabilities. Current liabilities are important in computing both working capital and the current ratio for two related reasons. First, current liabilities are used in determining whether the excess of current asset over current liabilities afford a sufficient margin of safety. Second, current liabilities are deducted from current asset in arriving at working capital. In using working capital and the current ratio, the point of view is one of liquidation and not of continuing operation. This is because in normal operation, current liabilities are not paid off, but are of a refunding nature. Providing sales remain stable, both purchase and current liabilities should remain steady. Increasing sales usually yield increasing current liabilities. First, quality of current liabilities. The quality of current liabilities is important in analysis of working capital and the current ratio. Not all current liabilities represent equally urgent or forceful payment demands. The quality of current liabilities must be judged on their degree of urgency in payment. We should recognize if funds inflow from current revenue are viewed as available for paying current liabilities. Then labor and similar expense requiring prompt payment have a first call on revenue. Second, days purchase in account payable. A measure of the extent to which company lean on the trade is the average payable days outstanding. This measure is computed as average payable days outstanding divided by accounts payable divided by cost of goods sold divided by 360. The average payable days outstanding provides an indication of the average time that the company takes in paying its obligation to supplier. The longer the payment period, the greater the use of supplier capital. Next is about additional liquidity measure. Current asset composition. The composition of current asset is an indicator of working capital liquidity. Use of common size percentage comparison facilitates our evaluation of compare liquidity regardless of dollar amount. Next, acid test quick ratio. A more stringent test of liquidity uses the acid test quick ratio. This ratio includes those assets most quickly convertible to cash, and cash is computed as cash plus cash equivalent plus marketable security plus account receivable divided by current liabilities. Inventories are often the least liquid of current assets and are not included in the acid test ratio. Another reason for excluding inventory is that their valuation typically involves more managerial discretion than required for the other current asset. Yet, we must remember that inventories for some companies are more liquid than slow-paying receivable. Cash flow measure. Since liabilities are paid with cash, a comparison of operating cash flow to current liabilities is important. A ratio comparing operating cash flow to current liabilities overcomes the static nature of the current ratio since its numerator reflects a flow variable. This cash flow ratio is computed as operating cash flow divided by current liabilities. Financial flexibility. Financial flexibility is the ability of a company to take steps to counter unexpected interruption in the flow of funds. It can mean the ability to borrow from various sources, to raise equity capital, to sell and deploy assets, or to adjust the level and direction of operation to meet changing circumstances. Additional factors bearing on an assessment of a company's financial flexibility are: first, rating of its commercial paper, bonds, and preferred stock; second, any restriction on its sales of assets; third, the extent expense are discretionary; and fourth, ability to respond quickly to changing conditions, such as strikes, demand shifts, and breaks in supply sources. What-if analysis. What-if analysis is a useful technique to trace through the effect of changes in condition or policies on the resource of a company.
That's all from us. Hope you guys can understand the material, and
Thank you for watching. See you guys.